switching gears, but staying on the topic of employees. So top grading is a critical thing in building a business. It's even a critical thing in maintaining a business. But this book is fantastic. So the book is Top Grading. It's written by Brad and Geoff Smart, and it's something that I've relied on in the past. But if we really review what an A, B, and C player are in this top grading model, a C player is inconsistent or unacceptable performance, lacks initiative, consistency, and they always have problems. And they're always making excuses. They're the ones that like they bring you the surprises every day, and you're like, not again. In the top grading model, it talks about making C players, B players, and B players into A players. I usually make C players find a better fit somewhere else rather than wasting my time on trying to develop somebody that is really not committed to developing within the business model that you have. They're the people that look at it as a job rather than a career, and aren't looking for that personal development. But the important thing is that if you can identify your A players and B players, if we look at a B player, solid citizen, strong performer, few problems, team player, adds value, supports the organization's initiative, consistently accomplishes goals, and goes the extra mile. Most of us would be thrilled if we had all B players. If you just on those last 2 points, consistently accomplishes all the goals and goes the extra mile. If every single employee that you had did that, you'd be pretty happy. But when you look at an A player, they have mastery of job, they're self-directed, consistently excellent results, they're a peer leader, and they set the pace for the organization. And they constantly contribute beyond the assigned job or unit. That is a slightly different thing. So if you can get your B players that already seem like they're committed to be A players, then you're going to be in a really good situation. One of the tricks to this, besides having development systems in place for your employees that are sometimes outside of your daily, day-to-day work, and not really on the specific training of like, how do you spray a lawn? How do you plant a tree? Things like that. But more about like how to become a leader, how to have better time management, better communication skills, things like that. If you have that, that's great. One of the other things that I've seen really be successful with some of the companies that I've worked with is that they are constantly interviewing, even though they don't have a job opening. They're building their bench for people that they could possibly bring in. And sometimes they get wowed so much by an interview that they create a job opening and eliminate someone else because they're just thinking, well, this automatically raises the bar for our entire organization, and we have to bring this person in. This isn't extremely time consuming. It's easy to keep a job posting out there and say that it's for a pretty standard position like a lawn technician. You can have that job posting out there. It doesn't ever have to change, and you can just keep getting resumes because different people have availability at different times. And especially in this, time that we're in where a lot of our work is remote, interviews are remote as well. So having a phone conversation doesn't take long. You can get a really good feel for somebody in 5 minutes. So 15 minutes seems like an eternity. You also have the opportunity, if say that you're in a second step of that, to do a Zoom meeting or some type of online meeting. So where you can meet a little bit more face-to-face virtually and get a better feel for them. But if you focused on that, once a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month, it depends on how big your organization is as to how often you have to do this. But you had it set into your schedule and consistently were paying attention to this, you can build a fantastic bench. And the faster you're growing, the more you have to pay attention to this. But there's also the aspect that the more you pay attention to this, usually the faster you grow. So it's kind of the chicken and the egg scenario. But this is controllable. Sometimes you're struggling for answers on how you can grow your company faster. Sometimes it's not what you're doing, it's who you have doing it. So pay attention to top grading and constantly build up that team. And think of it as like it's your fantasy football team, and you constantly want to upgrade and look at the best options that you can possibly team. So how can you design your fantasy lineup for your employees? But you got to have options there, and if you have a good pool of talent, then suddenly the options get better and better as you go along.